So as we work our way through this chapter and start to develop various algorithms, one technique that we'll use to help us develop those algorithms is something called pseudocode. Pseudocode is basically just English text in which you list out, either on paper or using a text editor, all of the steps that you intend to perform in your program, and you organize them to get them in the right order. And then basically what this does is it helps you think out how you're going to approach solving a given problem. And once you have carefully prepared pseudocode, you can often convert that one for one over to Python statements that actually implement an algorithm. So as you'll see, when we develop pseudocode, we're typically going to describe the actions that we wish to perform, things like reading in values from the user, displaying information to the user, performing calculations, etc. And we'll list the order of those, and then we'll work on translating that over to actual Python code. Now here we have some pseudocode for an addition program where we want to read in a couple of numbers from the user and display the sum of those values. So in order to do that, the first thing that we're going to want to do is prompt the user to enter the first integer, and then we're going to input that value from the user and store it in the program. So you may recall from chapter 2 that when we prompt the user to enter an integer, we were doing that with the input built-in function, which of course gave us back a string piece of information that we then had to convert to an integer. And in fact, these first two pseudocode statements can be implemented with a combination of the input function and its result being passed to the built-in int function, which converts a string to an integer. The next two pseudocode statements do the same thing again, prompt the user to enter the second integer and read that value in, or input that value from the user. Then we're going to add the first and second integers together and store their sum. So now we have the total of those two values, and then we'll display that sum on the screen. So this is just a very basic description of a simple addition program that we could write perhaps as a script in Python. And in fact, you may want to go ahead and try that on your own, as we recommend in the self-check exercise.